Mayor Adams is free.
Yo.
Shout out Mayor Adams. He came on the pod. Mayor Adams is awesome, dude.
What'd you think of Mayor Adams?
Awesome.
Is he running again?
Yep.
Yeah.
He is going to run again. He said that on the pod?
Yeah.
Because I heard he was going to announce. Oh, they said he was going to announce on Thursday, so I guess he knew the charges were probably getting dropped today.
That's probably
Yeah.
But he was a great hang. Like, he's a fun dude. He's a New Yorker. It was cool to hear his perspective on all the bribery charges. Like, we asked him all the questions.
Yeah.
And just like the state of the city. And but yeah, the kid used to squeegee people's windshields as a kid.
Yeah.
Or the dude, the mayor, and then to go from squeegeeing people's windshields and to being the mayor of New York City is a pretty amazing achievement.
I didn't watch the whole interview yet. I watched the clip. I thought it was very interesting that he admitted there's a deep state.
Bro,
I thought it was interesting that he admitted that he felt like it was after he criticized the Biden administration, then they hit him with those charges.
Immediately.
So tell us what happened with the migrant crisis.
Oh, great question. So let's talk about the migrants. This cost us $7 billion. This was the tipping point where I decided I got to publicly criticize the Biden administration.
Yeah. So listen, and I don't want to get conspiratorial. After you come out, all of a sudden, the Justice Department looks into Eric Adams, and there's this thing about Turkish Airlines, right? Do you think there's any connection to those two things?
You're darn right I do.
Do you know who you think it came from? Like,
that's a great question. And I don't want to sound conspiracy theory, but there's a permanent government.
Is this like what people refer to? And I think this word has been used too much, but like the deep state or whatever it is.
It's not used too much. It's real, brother. Mayors come and go. Presidents come and go. Governors come and go. Permanent government is real. And whoever's trying to act like it's not real, they're lying.
And I really want to know more about what he means by permanent government.
Well, I was trying to ask him, and throughout the interview, he's just like, read Kash Patel's book. You know Kash.
Yeah.
He's like, read Kash Patel's book. He explained. I'm like, who are these people? He goes, just read Kash Patel's book. He explains it. He'll talk about these people. I think he was like genuinely concerned to out certain individuals. But his idea of permanent government.
Let me look that up.
Yeah. The book is called, what's Kash's book called? I forgot. Anywho. But his idea of permanent government makes sense. He goes, I deal with it in New York City, but it also exists on a federal level. He goes, there are department heads for every department in New York City. There's the sanitation department, et cetera. These people are not elected, and they've been there for 35 years. So they look at a mayor, and they're like, yo, you're here, you'll be gone. We don't really got to respect you. Like, we're here for ever. And you're here for a little bit.
Yeah.
Government gangsters.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. Permanent government refers to the body of career officials, civil servants, and institutions that continue to operate regardless of changes in political leadership or ruling parties. It's also sometimes called the bureaucracy, our administrative state, or the deep state, right?
Yeah. So the nefarious actors, they would argue, are called the deep state. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, we don't know who those people are. Here's the thing. We need to have like an honest conversation about this. In order to function as a country that changes its leader every 4 years, you need something that's kind of permanently operating.
But isn't that what law should be, like the Constitution?
Of course. But like, imagine you had to literally rehire every department every time a new administration came in. So Trump comes in, and then everybody within the Department of Education is fired and rehired, retrained on all the things.
I know what they're doing now.
But imagine every single department. We're talking about like tens of thousands of people fired and rehired every 4 years. Like, what people would even sign up for that? Like, you're going to quit your job for potentially 4 years of work in a department that then you could be removed and maybe you're making $100,000. Like, I get it. In order for a country to function long term, right, to have a plan for 30 years from now, you need something there. The problem is a lot of those positions are positions of power and influence that are not democratically elected. So they're making decisions about us based on whatever they feel most comfortable.
Yeah, that's what it says. One of the key characteristics of permanent government is, unlike politicians, these individuals are not chosen.
Exactly.
Through elections. All I'm realizing, man, is a lot of this shit is, well, not a lot of it. It's just all an illusion then. I mean, we've always said that, but it's just like, yo, there's no real figurehead. The president, maybe now, but the president, until now, the president of the United States of America has always just been a figurehead.
Now, don't get me wrong. They still have a lot of like power. Like, they can decide to go to war and they can murder, millions of people. Like, these horrible things happen all the time.
But isn't Cash going to go after them?
No, I'm not talking about deep state. I'm talking about presidents. Presidents still have tons of power. What I'm saying is that...
But who tells them to go to war?
Well, honestly, Adams on the pod, he even said this shit. He was like... Because he was meeting with Biden and Biden's people about the migrant stuff. And he didn't come out until he kept asking them for things and they refused to give him. So he goes... Because he broke it down really well. He's like, listen... Immigration is a federal responsibility. Mm-hmm. Keeping the border closed is a federal responsibility. It's not a state responsibility. So when they're sending 4,000 migrants a day up in buses from Texas to New York, right? And then I'm going, hey, we need funding for this. And they go, you can take it out of whatever you have already. He goes, hold on. Why should I have to pay, the city have to pay for a federal issue? Like that doesn't make sense to him.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, like
so even when they said, so when they were saying they were sanctuary states, that was all local stuff. That wasn't.
Well, I think the state decides to be a sanctuary state. I don't know if they receive federal funding for being a sanctuary state, but like the state decides to be, and even the sanctuary shit. There's a difference between sanctuary state and right to housing. So like if you have a right to housing, which New Yorkers do, that's for homeless people. That's not for migrants.
Yes.
And basically, as a political move, Texas was trying to like show the northern states that seem to have strong opinions about immigration, yet don't deal with it at all.
Don't deal with it, 100%.
And I get that perspective too.
I said it was genius when it happened. Everybody got mad at me. All I was, was like, oh, Charlamagne playing both sides. No, I just like strategy.
It works.
It absolutely works. If I'm Governor Greg Abbott, if I'm DeSantis, oh, y'all don't think this is an issue? Y'all don't have to deal with it? Here you go. Oh, y'all sanctuary cities? The right thing to do if you're a sanctuary city would be to send the migrants to sanctuary cities. Put them on buses, put them on planes. Here you go. Soon as they got here, what happened? As soon as they got to the DCs,
you start making phone calls.
In the New Yorks, in the Chicagos, whoa, we don't want this no more.
100%.
I thought when they did it, I thought it was a genius move, and guess what? It fucking worked.
So he's like,
Democrats they don't get money from the Fed.
What's that?
They don't get money from the Fed.
So we don't get money from the Fed. So it's coming out of state. It's coming out of state funding and city funding. Anyway, so he's just like, it was a move, and we had to. And I was critical of the Biden administration that I was a surrogate before. I was there, one of the people hand selected to promote it, and I'm critical of it. And then immediately after that, these charges get brought up, and I'm like, do you think that's connected? He goes, of course I think it's connected. He goes, I don't even think the Biden was getting proper information from his people. I go, what? He goes, his people were, Biden's people were telling Biden something that wasn't true. I go, what do you mean? And I go, who are those people? Because that's what we've always been concerned about. We're like, who's really running the country? And I don't know, in his opinion, he's like, there was a group of staffers or whoever they may be that were really making the decisions and then informing Biden of whatever they saw would be what they thought would be the best for America.
All this shit is corrupt.
Scary, right?
And I didn't like that.
All this shit is corrupt.
The thing is like, don't give us a boogeyman and then not call him out.
Who are you talking about?
Like he'll say, oh, these people are telling him wrong information. And we said, who are the people? Then he won't
say. See, you want to get people killed.
No,
Alex.
I want to know.
He might get tell.
I want transparency.
I thought he was worried about himself, not being murdered, but like.
I think he was, but I'm saying.
He said he spent $3 million of his own money on his legal fees, and he was facing 35 years in prison.
Yeah, if you've already been a victim of what you're claiming to be the deep state, you're not going to go back down there.
Light it up anymore.
When are we going to have faith in the government if people don't just start airing shit out?
We're never going to have faith in the government.
So then it's bullshit then.
So, like seriously, we're never going to have faith in government. I don't think ever again.
I asked him about Cuomo running as well.
Oh, shoot. I thought you said something else. I was like, what? I never heard those rumors. What? He said he liked the shorty. I didn't know that. What?
Son, I asked him about Cuomo. I was like, what do you think about Cuomo? He said, I'm not concerned about that. I'm like, why? Like this guy's like a very big political figure. He's like, he got accused of something and he stepped down. I got accused and indicted for something. I ain't go anywhere. I stood tall. He goes, how could you support the guy that the second that he got into something, he removed himself? Like, why would he not do that again? All it takes is an accusation, then he's going to bend over.
That's a great point.
I was facing 35 years, $3 million of my own money that I had to spend to defend myself, and now the charges are dropped because I'm innocent.
That is a great point.
Where'd he get $3 million?
Say again?
Where'd he get $3 million?
Yo, you ask so many questions, Chinese man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What the hell, bro? What the hell?
I don't know either.
Brooklyn Borough president He
Turkey
owns a lot of properties.
Turkey.
Maybe he's getting rent on some of his properties.
Maybe he is.
That's where he got the $3 million.
Listen, I even said that to him. I was like, listen,
Did y'all ask him where he got the $3 million from?
No, I didn't ask him about that. But I asked him about corruption.
Cap.
You're saying
No,
I didn't
not
ask
you.
him?
I'm saying him, saying he spent $3 million of his own money.
Right. So maybe somebody else is like funding it, is what you're trying to say? Possibly.
Hey, man.
And he should be available for that criticism too. Like, I'm not trying to defend in that regard,
right.
But I did really enjoy him as a personality. Like, he was fun. He was making jokes. We were talking about the shorties. Like, at one point during the pod, he's like, "Yo, you know what New York needs? An 11." I go, "What?" And he's talking about the strip club in Miami. He's just a wild boy, bro. But he got a kid.
Yeah, I think he got a kid. Yeah, I had Mary Adams do I put out this project with Audible a few years ago called We've Got Answers. Mm-hmm. And so I just assembled a group of people that I consider like real thought leaders to give like different insights on like just a lot of different things, right? Basically, the premise of the project is if you're a white person and you want to know what black people think, you put this on,
and then boom,
and they answer all the questions. And Mary Adams was one of the people I used, and he came through. We paid somebody for that. Huh?
I interviewed him for that.
Oh, you interviewed? Okay.
He thought I was a black guy the entire interview because it was on the phone. They call me brother. You know how it is, brother.
You are white. Black people and Jewish people are brothers.
I didn't say anything else. I said I know how it is.
How did you enjoy that? Did you like him when he did that?
I liked him a lot personally when I spoke with him. I think he's very personal.
Bro, he's so charming.
I don't like him as a mayor at all, but he's a personal guy.
Tell me why. I don't live in New York. I live in Jersey. Tell me why you don't like him as a mayor.
No, I think he's done a bad job. I think it's ironic that he talks about entrenched, city workers who can't get out of there where, I think at last count, 15 people that he's appointed personally are under investigation. I think he's appointed really unqualified people to a lot of positions. And, despite my progressive leanings, I'm actually pretty pro-policing and tough on crime. And that was one of the things he really ran on. And I don't think he's really delivered on it.
The last mayor that's really been tough on crime was Giuliani, though, right?
So here's the thing that's tricky, right? That was the first thing we brought up to him. We're like, "Yo, what's up with the subways? Like,
what's up with the mopeds running me over every day?"
Well, that's not crime.